Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you this morning, and sorry that I didn't do a video last night. I just didn't see any new stuff coming out or anything that piqued my interest to review. But I'm returning to you for a new album review, and this is for the new. Sorry, I was getting my notebook. For the new Coldplay album, Music of the Spheres, that I just got done listening to, the whole album. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for all 12 tracks, which I didn't really listen to the last song. I know I've listened to it a bunch of times, which I love that song, Coloratura. But I just didn't want to play that 10-minute song again. I was like, yeah, I've already heard it. But it was a great closing track to the album, I should say. So, yeah, I'm going to discuss what I listened to for this Coldplay album and let you know my thoughts on it. So, let's dive into this review. Sorry for the lengthy intro. I just wanted to clarify that I didn't listen to the final song, which I didn't want to, honestly. I pretty much know what to expect for the final song because I've heard it before many times. So I've heard it maybe like 10 or 20 times or so, something like that. But yeah, let's dive into this review. The first song is the opening track, the intro, which is an interlude, I guess you could say. The intro track is called Music of the Spheres. And that wasn't bad, but not mainly my favorite song, but it wasn't a bad intro track, I should say. So I gave it a 4.5 out of 5, only to be nice. Higher Power is going to get a little bit of a higher rating because it's grown on me a little bit more throughout time. Then comes Humankind, and that wasn't a bad song. I was not disappointed with it, but closer to track 8, that's where the record starts to fall down into a big slump of a mess. But yeah, to talk about Higher Power, it's growing on me. I don't really like the song, the lyric, "This boy's electric." It repeats it a few times, and then "This joy's electric," and I'm like, where's Chris Martin coming up with these lyrics? I'm just like, okay. But Alien Choir, the next interlude, was not too bad. Let Somebody Go featuring Selena Gomez was decent. Not something I would per se really enjoy, but it was a decent song, so I gave it a 4 out of 5. Human Heart was not good. It just was boring, honestly. Uh, I was gonna give it a meh rating, but considering that it didn't do so well, it's kind of boring, honestly, and a little disappointing. So maybe I'll give it a 3 for now, unless the song just doesn't do much for me later on. But I'll give it a 3. But it's pretty boring, honestly. Human Heart, featuring We Are King and Jacob Collier. People of the Pride was not so bad. It was decent. There's just some moments where Chris Martin does some falsettos that don't really strike a landing of being very good, and it makes me cringe a bit the way he sings in falsettos sometimes. It just depends on which area in the song that I cringed most. Beautiful has this electronic chipmunk voice through almost carrying out the whole song. Then Chris Martin comes in singing his normal vocals, and it does okay, but the song really sucked. It was such a drag and a disappointment. Mostly a disappointment, I guess you could say. So Beautiful's getting a 2.5 out of 5. Fuck that song. Did not like that song. Music of the Spheres 2 was Not a great interlude to the next song, My Universe, but it was decent. I was expecting something different from Music of the Spheres too. But it had audience yet praising and going woo and all that stuff in the background while Coldplay's singing and all that. But yeah, then comes My Universe, and that song is growing on me a lot more, as more than I thought. It's with a featured artist called BTS, the Korean pop band, I guess you could say. Um, but yeah, they're not bad. It's just I'm not a huge fan of BTS, to be honest, but they're not bad. Um, Infinity Sign was not too bad. It carries on to the next song, which is Coloratura, and I love Coloratura. That was one of the best songs on this album you're gonna find. So overall, I think Coldplay Music of the Spheres, production, mixing, and execution, not very good, but the only songs I found to be a little bit disappointing, well, one would be the worst song, which is Beautiful. It's Biutyful is how they're pronouncing it. I'm like, okay. And Human Heart was a little boring, honestly, but it was meh at best. So overall, I'm not gonna rate it yet. I just thought Music of the Spheres was not really piquing my interest that much. It was a lazy Coldplay album. Not a bad one, but it was a little lazy, honestly. And this is just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me on it. It's just how I felt when I was listening to this Coldplay album. But first score, now I'm gonna rate it. I'm gonna give it, for Music of the Spheres, the Coldplay album, a 6 out of 10. It was meh. Not very good, but it was almost bad. And yeah, for a 6 out of 10, it's very close to being a bad rating. Uh, that's just my take on it. You don't have to agree with me on it. If you enjoyed this Coldplay album, more power to you. I just personally didn't find it to be that interesting because of the way that the songs are playing out. I was having a little bit of high hopes for Coldplay this time around, but they kind of let me down with certain songs on the album. And yeah, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. It's not that impressive. But comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of the new Coldplay album, Music of the Spheres, if you've heard it. Keep in mind, I'm just expressing my own opinion, so you don't have to agree with me on it. It's just my take on what I felt when listening to this album. Because I've already heard Coloratura, and I would have listened to it, but it would have taken 10 minutes to get done with it. Which, I don't mind listening to it again, it's just I've heard it a bunch of times. Um, even before this album came out. But yeah, if you enjoyed this album review for Coldplay Music of the Spheres, comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. Tap a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can. Support the channel. I will be returning to you for another album review, and it'll be for Ice Nine Kills' The Silver Scream 2, Welcome to Horrorwood, that I'm going to be doing. And sorry that I dragged this video out a little lengthy than I thought. I just had to express my concerns on this album, and some positives and some negatives, so I'm in between with this album, but it's mainly meh. It's not gonna be on my decent to good albums, it's gonna be on my okay to meh albums of 2021, so it'll be on that list by the end of the year. But I hope you enjoyed this new album review for Coldplay Music of the Spheres. I did the best I could to make it as good as possible. Stay safe, take care. I hope you enjoyed this review. And as always, I'll see you in the Ice Nine Kills album review pretty soon.